and they show powerful figures like President Trump, Trump advisor Steve Bannon, and former President Bill Clinton. None of those released images depict any sexual misconduct, nor are believed to depict underage girls. It was not immediately clear when or where they were taken, or by whom, for that matter. I want to go live right now to CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins, who's been working the story for us. Caitlin, what are we learning from these new images?
Well, this is some reporting I've done with my colleague, Annie Grayer. And basically what we're getting and what we're seeing being released today are photos from the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. It's from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which has been turning over emails and other records of his from his life. This latest production is over 95,000 photos that he had on his computer, on his email server. And basically what they do, Wolf, is just reinforce and shed new light on the extent of the many powerful people that were in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit. I mean, you can see this when you look through these pictures, and they're available to scroll through in our story on CNN.com right now. And there are people including the current president, President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, Richard Branson. A lot of these people that we knew had been linked to Jeffrey Epstein in the past, Wolf. But basically, this is just showing new angles of those relationships. And they're incredibly personal photos in some of them, and others, they're a bit silly. Some, it's kind of hard to even explain what you're looking at. We've published the ones that we've been able to online, though, and basically they just show all the high and powerful people in his orbit. Well, there's one where it's got Bill Clinton with Epstein. There's one that includes Steve Bannon, who, as you remember, was a huge advisor to President Trump from his 2016 campaign and also worked for him in the White House. And they're just really remarkable images showing what Jeffrey Epstein's life was like before he became ensnared in all of this trouble, and when he was eventually, of course, charged and indicted for sex trafficking young underage women. And I should note, Wolf, as you noted, none of the pictures that we're releasing today that we've gotten our hands on show any sexual misconduct. We don't believe any show any underage girls. It's really just speaking more to Jeffrey Epstein's life and what that looked like. And lawyers for his estate basically told the committee that they had photos, they have videos that were taken at any property that was owned, rented, operated, or used by Jeffrey Epstein for about 30 years. So that just kind of tells you the span of what you're looking at here, as Jeffrey Epstein was surrounding himself with a lot of powerful people, which, of course, we now know also helped insulate him at times from the crimes he was committing.
Let's go live right now to our senior reporter, Annie Grayer, who's working the story for us. What are we learning, first of all, Annie, from these new images, and what are lawmakers saying about all of this?
Well, Wolf, there are 19 images released by the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, and they're still combing through over 95,000. But these photos really give us an inside look into the most powerful men in the world that Jeffrey Epstein was connected with. And 3 of those photos include President Donald Trump. One of them is with the president and 6 women whose faces are blurred out. There's another photo of the president and 1 woman whose face is blurred out, and a third photo of the president, Epstein, and a woman whose face is not blurred. Then there is a photo of what appears to be a box of novelty condoms with President Trump's face on it, with a price tag of $4.50 with the caption saying, "I'm huge." And Trump is not the only one who is featured in these photos. There's also images of Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Woody Allen. These are some of the most powerful men in the world that have been known to be connected to Epstein previously, but these photos just provide more context on their relationship. There's no evidence of sexual misconduct or sexual activity in these photos, and it doesn't appear that any of the women in these photos are underage, but they come from Epstein's Gmail account. It's unclear who took these photos or what the context was around them, but it's part of the Oversight Committee's broader investigation into Epstein, where they've received thousands of documents. Listen to the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee who spoke with reporters this morning upon these new photos release.
It will take days and weeks to ensure that we got those photos and that a redaction is done in the appropriate way. Let me just also say that clearly we have put out, I think maybe 15 to 20 of those photos this morning. Democrats have. We will continue to put out more photos in the days and weeks ahead. But I just caution folks that the redaction process and ensuring that we are protecting the survivors and the women who were abused by Epstein are protected.
Now, Republicans on the panel who are also conducting this investigation are accusing Democrats of cherry-picking photos here because, again, these are only 19 photos released over the 95,000 that the committee will have access to and start combing through. But all of this comes as we are waiting for the Department of Justice to release all of the files it has on the Epstein case in its possession that was required by law after passing in Congress last month.
Oh, good. You